G'day and welcome to another episode of A Little Bit Agricultural, or ALBA as we like to call it, Oscar. We're heading out of town, mate, to meet a local with a very interesting story to tell.
Yeah, look, as everyone should know by now, ALBA is to look at food and fibre production all around Australia. But we can't forget that people have been on this great continent for 60,000 years before us. And there's a lot of intricate and sophisticated food systems already at play. And look, we're going to go and learn about some native grains around Moree.
It was just one day I was wanting to know more about plants, and then I went to Moree TAFE and I met a really nice man by the name of Paul Moxon, and he was teaching horticulture, culture heritage and land management. And it was only with natives because he used to own his own nursery. And then so when we was out on country, the plants had a name. And it was the same name as to my identity, where I'm from. And I thought, wow, it really, I felt it so much. It was like, I went right around the block just to find out that, you know, I've been here, I'm home, you know.
Yeah.
It's because it's a place of belonging, knowing that you've got species that's connected to your identity.
This area around Moree, which these days is famous for growing grain and cotton as we've already seen in this series, is also abundant with bush tucker, and some of that bush tucker is native grass which produces its own grain.
When I look at this, I see grass, but it's so much more, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I see that, that's a really very important food source, and there's heaps of it. Our grasslands provide a really good seed that can be milled into flour.
Is that right? And that's what used to happen?
Absolutely, yeah.
How would that happen?
So our old people collected these grasses for their seeds, and yeah, there was a preparation into separating the husk to get the seed to make the flour. Gunnelay is a really healthy seed. It's been trialled for its nutrient value, and it's very healthy.
Yeah.
And the old people, they knew it. They had it right in the beginning.
They lived off it.
They lived off it, and they look really good.
Kerry is all about looking after country and making sure her people learn the stories passed down to her. And this grass is a big part of that.
We are rich in culture here with language, dance and art. So the knowledge has always been there, it's just been asleep.
Yeah.
So we've had stories passed down, you know, language is still, it's been always there. And you know, the paintings tell a story. So the art was always there as well. Right now I've got 2 lots of different native grasses in here, and I have mixed them together, and I have grinded the gunnelay to open up the husk.
Oh, okay.
So it can release its seed like it has been.
So you grind up the husk first to get the seed out, then
Yes.
sieve it.
Yeah, so traditionally this was the sieve.
Yep.
This is called a coolamon.
Okay.
It's a bark from a tree, the smaller bark actually, and it was just specifically for separating the husk
Yeah, right.
from the seed. So you're left with clean seed.
Yeah.
And that's how the old people did it. So once you get the clean seed, it goes back onto the grinding stone, and then you just grind it, and it just grinds into flour.
Wow.
And you have
It's an ancient process, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's on a bush pizza?
So you'll have, for the base, you'll have the flour, of course. Then we've got some galangalam, which is native spinach. We'll have some little bush tomatoes when they dry out. We'll also have some bindamaya, which is saltbush. And, you know, them couple of elements is flavour. So you're adding all that to the bread, to the dough. So
Beautiful.
Yeah, and you didn't go to the shop to get it.
Yeah.
No.
These grasses, they've been here for a long time, and they have went through, you know, droughts and floods and still maintain a good seed with the right, you know, land management. So, you know, when we go through drought, they might look a bit, you know, dull, but they still there.
Yeah.
And
bounce back quickly.
They bounce back quickly, yeah.
And I guess they're the lifeblood of everything, aren't they? The lifeblood of all the other animals and ecosystem.
Yeah, that's right. They do keep the circle of life happening, you know, the living ecosystem.
We were interrupted by some local kids riding around the area on their bikes, which quickly reminded us that Oscar is meant to be doing this whole series riding a bike.
My plan, I reckon, is to ride around the country and have a look at what's going on in agriculture.
But once again, it was on the back of my car. He's meant to be riding it like those kids, but it's on the back of the ute.
Oh, you poor man.
Yeah.
Hope you get it fixed.
You know anything about motorbikes, how to fix them?
Sounds like the spark plug.
It's only ridden at about 10 k's. It breaks down every sort of 7 k's.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's almost that bad, but not quite that bad.
Yeah, so you've done some riding on it, eh?
He's done a lot of riding, yeah. I reckon so far in about 3 weeks he's ridden about 23 kilometres all up.
Fair cop. Now next time on A Little Bit Agricultural, the bike is back as we make our way south to a farm which is rather mixed up. We have found a mixed enterprise farm, a farm that does grains, livestock and vegetables on a pretty intensive scale.
Seems to me, just being here for a day, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's fairly diversified. It may look diverse and it may look confusing, but it's really, to me, not that hard to manage.